Rounstraw.
Here.
Mylum.
Here.
Cook.
Here. All right, let's go through the agenda. On the minutes. Anyone have any questions on it? Okay. On the TFC agreement, Mr. Sheasley? Any questions on it?
What is a, maybe unanswered. What is that $1 million policy cost them per year? Is that
It's just an estimate, pennies. So it's a rider onto theirs.
It's
They have their own policy, and then what happens, like, I know this is like the Legion, what they do is they'll say, okay, we have our policy, or workers' comp policy, of all these policies. We want to then have an event down at Miller Band Shell. City says we need $1 million policy. You call the city, your insurance carrier, you say, can you add the city as an insured for one day at this location? It's a couple extra dollars. It's
So
not-
they have to do that for every event that they have there, including games, practices?
No, they have a policy at that location. Now they're gonna probably expand their footprint. I can't speak for them, but they're probably gonna expand the footprint now to include this piece of property, the candy shack, whatever they're building out, whatever they're doing. But right now, currently, they have a policy at that location. But if they were to hold, like, they do hold events, like here at City Hall, they held like a car wash.
Sure.
We gave them a permit, like last year, remember, they had a car wash. They then make us the additional insurance, and if somebody got injured on City Hall property, their policy will say we knew about it versus you're off our footprint, not our problem.
My house, Dave, I think it's $1 million. I think it's like $47. Extra coverage.
If you buy hunting land out in the country, but you have no structures or anything on it, you get a vacant land rider. You don't need to get a separate policy.
Okay,
It's all insurance nuances.
thank you.
Any other questions on it?
Oh, yeah, I do. It says the city shall be financially responsible to maintain the football field.
It's our field.
That's,
It always will be our field.
So you're just not saying, okay.
Maintain it means we will cut it and like that.
Line it right.
Area.
okay, we can have Ally here, we'll meet with her in a little bit. So we'll come back to resolution 3. Okay. Special events, the Haunted Harbor, trunk or treat event.
Well, until we get out of now. we'll play.
Want to get council on it?
Sure.
I don't even want to think about later, but next event is It's a Wonderful Night. Great. We can just end it. Council on that as well?
Yeah. Okay, when we go to the next one,
Yeah.
we have December 5th, December 6th. Is that right? We split it this year? Wasn't it always on the same?
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
We walked,
I walked, it was
we
cold.
walked it last year. It was like 10 degrees.
He's leaving it open so he can do the opening in the Clinton Park. And have that Santa Claus, the same thing there, but he wants to do the winter wonderland, so it doesn't, we don't block our street up, to constantly go down that street. And people walk all the way from Main Street.
In the dead of winter, you think that's gonna kill the crowd in 2 days. I mean, you're using 2 days in the dead of winter versus all one event.
Plus, that's cost more
Do you
money
have
because you're
the
gonna have-
special event permits?
This
for
one
that?
says multiple city events, so I'm guessing it's in there somewhere. I didn't make it to that one yet. This is North Star, and this is Carnegie, and this is a block.
This is from Haunted Harbor.
That's interesting, I think.
But it's,
Right?
Yes, it's a wonderful night. We'll start freelighting December 6th.
People are used to the Clinton Park doing the exact same thing. So.
yeah.
Is he just doing that to like leave it open in case of bad weather, or is it?
It gives you an alternate day. It was so bad there was no vendor came. It was that bad.
I mean, last year's still hell.
We lost what? 5, 6 vendors. Yeah, because of that.
So we need 4 officers with $5. How many do we need? For the tree lighting, it's on the first page, right at the bottom.
Two. Busted 554,
That's a plan.
24
1380 for overtime. And this one.
for that.
So right now, you said you know.
And we should table this.
Yeah.
All right.
That was the event that we went, the other we walked from Main Street down to the lady, and I thought.
It's all kind of.
I'm gonna make a- All right, I'll make a motion to table resolution 6. Do I have a second by Mr. Mylum? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Cheesley.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Ravenscroft.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution tabled. Block party. Questions on that?
I do have a question. I'm looking at. Block rate number 7. Right.
Right,
And it says Niagara Street between Wheeler and Franklin. But the application says between Niagara between Wheeler and Kohler,
Yeah, it's
Right.
just drop it.
light to light. This is from the applicant. The applicant wrote. Forest Fest Niagara shut down from Wheeler to Kohler or Franklin, light to light. The light's on Kohler, right? Not Franklin.
Cold,
Yeah.
So Wheeler to Kohler is light to light.
But I think he said it smaller footprint because he didn't need it as big last year. So Wheeler to Franklin is. It's closer, right? The
Yeah.
Kohler's all the way down.
Yeah, it's Mississippi Muds to Wheeler, this is Old Man Rivers to Wheeler.
Yeah, because it didn't extend that much from the, like, and it's only it makes it only a block.
Yeah, it's all they do is make it.
Yeah.
He didn't need it last year.
Exactly.
so the book barriers out that. Same concerns as last year. Which we talked about. Last year. All right. Any other questions on that? Okay. All right, the Carnegie Art Center, Arts Free Fest. Any questions on that?
Are they closing? I saw the map on there. So it's implied that they're not gonna close. So before you go over to the Renaissance Parade, you can make the left. That, so they're gonna close the Thursday, you can stow it
No
on the south.
closing on our side, no closing.
No closure.
All of Canal Street, that's why we switched it, so we either close on Main Street again, or close business.
Yeah, so now, okay, I saw that on the map, so they're making it out.
Correct.
And they paid the $3,000 from last year.
Right.
And they'll be the same this year.
Every same wish. They pay us money too.
I love
I
my.
know, so I did it.
Covered all the expenses for the
And,
police, fire, yeah, and this one. Okay. All right, application of the United States for Thomas, we are so council. So is this a special event? So did they fill out a special event?
This resolution 9?
Yes.
I think this is it here. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, there's Eastern Park, notable exact location, they want to use, so they're using it for Eastern Park, if you didn't see that, that's what they said, they want to use Eastern Park for 4 years. July 7th, the 11th.
Or should it say a special event application was received?
is that the camp on?
Yes.
Yeah. We do it every year.
First paragraph.
It's actually very nice
Special
event.
event application.
Yeah, they camp out, they do,
Where it says, whereas an application was received by,
Right. What type of application? So it's a special event.
special event
the
application.
number 8's the same way.
I know, I just noticed that.
Yeah.
4 and 5 though.
Mr. Clerk, they filled out a special event application, right, the Carnegie?
That's correct, yeah, and these were sent to everyone on Friday, as they are right now.
Are we just gonna amend?
I'll amend it, yeah.
And the Cub Scout event is the same as last year. Okay,
It's a camp out there.
the Dave Nadell runs.
They still making things.
Yeah.
They had movies, you know, in the woods.
Is it Eastern Park?
Yeah. Cool.
They tell scary stories.
The mayor shows up.
Yeah.
That's the scary story.
Oh, wait, it's about the gas down association has not given me permission, you know, so I will check with them. Bring it up, improve there.
All right, let's bring Ally up. We can talk about, resolution 4. I'm sorry, resolution 3. Hello.
Thanks for having me. Of course.
Thanks for coming. Okay, did, everybody have an opportunity to look at the resolution, the proposal? Did anybody have any questions?
Yes. Are you familiar with the route? Have you actually driven the route
Yes.
itself?
Yeah.
So it's pretty much in our area, it's only Delaware.
It's
Comes on
only Delaware.
Delaware, starts to touch Italy, our border, comes down, hooks right by Burger King, heads over to Bridge.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
So then, my hang up, as you saw in the email before, and now we discussed this out here, is it confirms it will not request, we will not approve requests for off-premise outdoor advertising signs along the designated railway and byway, I'm sorry, railroad sign byway. So you stated that that pretty much was billboards.
Yes.
So did you see anything along our route that if we even would be eligible to put something up that would violate that clause?
So right now, as far as I can tell, you do not have any billboards or off-premise signage, commercial off-premise signage at this time. What I have seen going through is really just advertising for like on-site businesses, hair salons. There's also temporary signage in a bunch of places that is advertising for like events. That's okay because it's temporary, so it can be like rolled away or. Yeah, exactly. There was like, I think something for a market I had just saw it in front of Walgreens. So all of that is fine. There's a lot of different like for sale signs, and again, businesses that are on those sites, even ones that like I can see like directional arrows to like the plaza like right behind. All of that's fine. So right now, as it stands, I don't see anything that constitutes an off-premise, commercial off-premise sign that would be a billboard.
So those are, like, we talk about those signs, the arrow, those are private properties. So
Yes.
they, in the future, they could put up more signage.
Yes,
They wouldn't violate this clause. So we're talking about the public property that we are in control of. And I've driven the route many a time. I don't think there's anywhere we could legally put a building, right? Like.
that's also very possible. Each jurisdiction is different. Some
Okay.
you may have your own rules already about that.
Okay.
This is just, for this.
Protecting the route.
Exactly.
I understood that. Okay, so. That was my only real hangup on it, and then that resolves it, so as long as we're not planning on erecting or sale billboards, we shouldn't have any route for it. So when you came down Delaware in the town of Tonawanda, as you
Yes.
come off the 290 where the right aid is the car wash, you can see those
Yes,
billboards,
those
and those are on vacant land. And they put those up, we can't put those in, but we really don't have any space for it.
Right, and-
Delaware's all residential.
Exactly, and for the town of Tonawanda, I shared that they have 2 locations, the ones that you're speaking of right off the 290, and then there's also. Closer to the village of Kenmore, there's a property that they put billboards on like the roof of a building.
Okay.
Yeah, and so those would be grandfathered in for them because they're already there. So when we go to designation in January 2026, that's what we're working towards as our target date. Basically, if there's nothing erected now or up until then, it's grandfathered in, it's already there, there's no issue with it, there's not gonna be a problem with it being there, it can change out if like, it's like Lamar, who, advertising company owns it or whatever that may be, but I don't see that here just because you don't have any. And also, like you said, space, there's not really that type of space, especially as as Delaware goes like this and then comes in, and same thing from the other way from.
They wouldn't have, but that code wouldn't allow that.
Right, exactly.
So, and did you saw the Burger King down there?
Yes,
So hypothetically, Burger King sign blows down, they wanna build a big sign twice the size, they're allowed to, that's private property, that wouldn't be affected.
Burger King could because they are the business on the property.
Got it.
So it's pertinent to what's right there. Burger King, if they said, I want to put up a sign that advertises the medical doctor in Buffalo.
Or like a billboard or a paid for sign.
Exactly.
You would then it would, but we would be obligated as a city to say deny their signage permit to build such a sign.
Exactly.
Because it would be on this road right away.
Yes.
Byway.
Any other questions?
No, that answered me too, but that was my big one. So listen.
Well, that's why I said in the email, I said, I should just put this up. We can always do what we gotta do tonight, but if we don't do this, we won't get this done. in time. This won't be,
I guess to piggyback on that, just for future use thinking. Let's say Burger King sells, moves out. Is the property grandfathered in or is the business grandfathered?
Well, right now, because there isn't any billboard signage, nothing would be grandfathered in right now
Sure.
in this jurisdiction.
Okay.
So that would really pertain if it's sold and a new property owner wanted to put up, let's say, a billboard, if they wouldn't be able to do it again.
but they can put up their own properties. So
Absolutely.
if it goes from Burger King to McDonald's, McDonald's can still build their. own
Yeah,
site, 'cause they're
and whatever signage they need.
For that on-site specific
Exactly.
location.
And again, the temporary signs are okay, small signs, so I mean, there was like a sign out for like, class of 2025, like all that's.
Temporary,
Those
yeah.
are temporary, those are all okay. So it's only for like the big major, typical billboards that we use.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Kingsley, anything around the room?
Then a list of signage for the attorneys to look at because of the change of the ordinance. Went through the whole city, I might have missed one. or two.
I saw it. You did a lot
I
of
took
work.
2 hours, I
Yeah,
thought, let's
yeah.
do it, cause you dared me, okay. Great tribute on that about Greg down there. Catch basin behind 182, any idea
No,
about that, it's, decide whose property, whose
It's
isn't?
definitely theirs, it definitely is not city, that I know, now I gotta go what to go up to it and put the computer run something down to make sure it's not fun. No, no.
Okay, well, I figured that was.
The
'cause it's right
liability,
under
the
the
liability is
line.
not the city. Bottom
Yeah.
line.
But no response from them yet, yeah, it's a surprise. Surprise. Okay,
So I was approached by one resident on Grove Street that requested a no standing here to corner sign in front of 51 Grove. They state that there's a fire hydrant. And between the fire hydrant and Grove Place, people are trying to wedge their car to meet the 15 feet requirement, which backs them all the way up to the corner. So anybody coming off of Grove Place looking to go left or right couldn't see. I went down and I looked at it, there was no cars parked there, but I did see what they're talking about, the fire hydrant in the corner. But this person told me there was multiple residents that were upset about it. So I wanted, before I list, address one person, one resident's address, I want to see if they can put me in contact with other people, and if there is a need, we'll discuss it like we did with Dexter. But
Is that a
that's
traffic and safety issue though?
maybe, I can already tell you, they decided to take no action, so, go what?
They wrote back to you?
No, I never brought it to them. I'm anticipating the answer already, so I'm just gonna, when residents bring me an issue, I'm gonna deal with the issue. Instead of taking an issue and circling it around the bureaucracy of this city, waiting 6 months to a year to get something done. Taxpayers are saying, we've elected you to do something, I'm gonna do something. And I've had 3 tries already with traffic and safety where I sent it to them, and it either came back, take no action, or let's see if Bill Conrad will pay for a traffic study one of these years when he has money. And it just dies in the bureaucracy. So rather than do that, when people are coming to me and they're saying, we're having an issue, I'm looking at it, I'm seeing if we have an issue, and I'm bringing it to the council. And that's what we were elected to do, was to look at these issues and deal with it. So if traffic safety wants to look at it, feel free. They want to recommend something, let them recommend. For or against, I don't care either way. I'm gonna do, in your words, my due diligence of getting something done. So that's where I stand on that. And so I'm bringing it to the council, let you guys know this is things I'm working on in my ward.
Thanks, Chris.
51 Grove Street.
So while I'm piggybacking on that, where do we stand on the speed bumps, the temporary speed bumps? So you said that we were looking to buy it.
By speed bumps, the price, wait for the price from the day, once we get the price. And we're looking to put the ones that.
I'm saying temporary.
Those are the temporary ones to put in there, one before the bridge, one after the bridge, one down, or 2 or 3 of them down Fillmore. We make them slow down as they're going down Fillmore before they get to, because they use it as a start. Last night we talked about it, you were on that safety meeting. I didn't see last night, but we talked about that last night. And we talked about when they come in that bridge, they floor it, it's a right of way, like a speed limit all the way through East Niagara. And one way to do it is slow down with the speed bump.
Temporary speed
In
bump.
our Stephen Worthy was very supportive of looking into that. He said, absolutely, he said, if that slows them down, so you protect the child on a bicycle, because they come off that path. And it's a gauntlet making that left, because two cars barely fit and you get the perfect alignment of one car going east, one coming west like that, and a bike, then we're gonna crash. And I'm not
And
gonna-
I bring that up because Tussing Lane would like a temporary speed bump to try it out, you know, especially put it out for a month, hammer it in with the stakes. Let them see, because that's a major cut through coming from Delaware to Main Street through Tussing.
But just remember, you put that in, you put a hole in.
Into the asphalt, and they gotta tar it or patch it.
We're done, we gotta patch it back up.
Yeah.
I do have a vendor for those, if you're looking for a vendor.
I would, and
Okay.
give you.
I have a full catalog.
Give you a copy.
We'll talk about that, and that's gonna be super. That's
Right, here's a lot.
Right, but-
Quite a few.
Well, that's what we said at the last meeting, was we could possibly price it out, and we would look at, each council person could pick 3 locations and, or even one speed bump for your ward, and then just move it to 3 locations throughout the summer, 1 month June, 1 month July, 1 month August, pull it out for the snow plows.
It's too bad there's not an easement or something.
This is where I guess that's a question too, when you're talking about these, I don't know if you guys drive around Buffalo, all that much, but I'm up to work, drop off my kid going back to the door. I mean, that's, like, they have the speed humps that are out there, are those detrimental to our plows? I mean, plows still can't handle those, even those smaller ones like that.
Anything on level with the ground, but then it becomes a liability when the throw from someone's windshield or a house going or a business going 30, 40 miles an hour. On it.
I'll get you the catalog.
Yeah, I
No,
appreciate
North Tonawanda does a temporary one in front of, Remington. And you notice it comes out, and that's a lot to do with the plows and everything, and I think that would really, because DPW doesn't want to have to worry about having to put those little signs up, they say lift plow. It's out there, but I'm pretty sure there's little things that says lift plow, and then,
I just would be careful, I wouldn't want to throw all the city, I mean, pick your most important areas,
Right.
because people driving around, oh my God, they're gonna, then you get the complaints. I mean, there's potholes that are big, it's right now,
Oh, yeah.
there's some, but they're being fixed one at a time, reach in. Okay, I'm just letting you know, but anyway, so that, just be careful.
and then,
Stanley, it's 2,000 in his own.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Barely made it down Buffalo.
I seen the Domino's Pizza was fixing them too in some locations, you know, their pizza gets room. And that last one I have is the Elks Lodge Motorcycle Cruise Night, I went to it, I went to it, very nice, well organized, bikes coming and
I
going,
talked to, Eric and,
yeah.
too.
And the weather wasn't the great, it was a beautiful day, it was just a little bit cooler.
76 bikes.
And that was day one, and they did bring business into the residents and people into the businesses.
All the bikers came inside for the music. They wanna do one.
And now they're gonna do music outside next time, so I was thinking, you know, based on what he was saying, if it really continues and it still brings a crowd and it goes good with Food Truck Thursday like it's been. We could always either have them reapply or amend that and by August, try to get them every Thursday like everybody else.
Let's not jump the gun, because remember, Food Truck Thursday is not run simultaneous with the shop. You're not having on the same.
You know, but it just, the concerns that were brought to us about what could potentially happen and what I saw on that Thursday night did not come to
For the
fruition.
first one, no,
No,
but
but
the 70
just-
bikers, that's good.
Yeah,
I went,
The concern.
I went behind the Main Street building, Katie, I know people know Katie Zelli, but us old people. Behind, the music you could not, very.
But the music was
No,
inside,
it was inside.
No,
Yeah.
but Ian had the music outside coffee.
yeah, the
But-
DJs, but they're
But-
bringing an actual stage for the next Thursday.
That sound,
The next,
you're talking.
But even the motorcycles, Legion
1,000 watts.
was.
yeah, you're talking, yeah, a real stage, a real band, so that'll be a real test to see what happens with the next one.
That's what I'm saying.
Especially with the weather getting warmer,
Yeah,
we already got the first one, we're coming up with the second
One
one
with that, I talked to the food sellers down there, they said they saw a significant increase in their.
in sales.
In
Sales,
just
yes.
that one night, not a big turnout.
Yep.
They're good.
Yeah, on a normal Thursday.
Yeah, Ian was pretty happy with it.
I do think that too, tempering expectations before you jump all in with everything.
Yeah.
Well, it's just something we can look at, so if you haven't, I don't know if you made it down there, but if you get a chance over one of these Thursdays when they have it, just walk through. Even if you just wanna look at the bikes, just to walk through, see the bikes, and it's very inviting, the atmosphere. Nope, that is everything on my list.
Yeah. Two things, only because you brought it up, couple people have asked about the potholes, I mean, just the process and the delays in that. just to manage their expectations, is that been just weather related, you got to have to do the cold patch, is it?
We're out of the whole patch, we're doing a good patch and all the good stuff, but we don't have 5 trucks doing work. We got to put one truck and a pickup to be doing the work, and so we got lists as long as you can imagine, and we're gonna get, you know,
I appreciate that. People are asking, and
we have to answer something.
Yeah. Chris Ganlon's. My other question, you know, I replied back to the email that was out there, just to ask if you wanted to bring in, Justin in regards to the zoning.
Yep, he's coming June 17th at 6:15.
I got a meeting with them tomorrow.
I just didn't see her like that. That's all I got. That and the lights are on their way, repairs, so just signed off on that, expectations on them actually getting to it.
Sharon,
I
Sure.
specifically asked, James Barrett to let me know exactly when that's going to be fixed. They're ordering the parts and I told them that is a priority. It's been for too long and I will be on until soon.
Let me find out, you know, wouldn't mind just throwing me in, so you tell my neighbors. Sorry. Thank you. That's all I got.
A couple of quick things, piggyback on the traffic safety, the corner of Colonial and Hines. There's a house there, family lives there, they have, I think they have 4 or 5 cars. But there's a consistently a great, gold Cadillac parked on the corner, across the walkway for the, to cross the street.
So.
On Colonial, on the north side. Doesn't have a front license plate. It's always parked there. It's not the residents, it's somebody from across the street. Like I said, and it's in the mornings, it's parked across the crosswalk.
if it's across the crosswalk, I'll keep it. That's shouldn't be long.
It's
We would send
it's every day. They're passing.
Chief, take a look at it, please.
Call the station when you see it.
So you gotta do.
Whatever else. All right, I'll do that. The DRI. So it was mentioned on WKBW. That they're, again, we're gonna be arguing about the sides on the pavilion.
Why?
Because it's not structurally sound to have sides put on the thing.
Who said that? We haven't done.
Our engineer.
We haven't done the study yet, okay, but.
Yeah,
It's been mentioned multiple times. That they want these sides to be put on this pavilion.
You know,
And in the past, when we discussed it, the engineer came back and said it is not structurally sound to put sides on it. I know Green Beer Sunday is really important to somebody, but you're gonna have to deal with wind.
I'll
And
deal,
if-
I'll
if
deal,
the-
I'll deal with the Greenberg Sunday people, because we said with the design that it is, either we can or we can't, if we can't realistically put signs on there, we can't do it. So it's gonna come when someone's gonna tell me, Mayor, we can't do it.
It's gonna
because
have
we
to be.
Because we did this, we
Right.
did the arches,
Right.
and structural, I'm not, it's gonna be like a sail. If you put this structure on a sail, that type of structure may not be sound enough to hold it in, so once they come and tell me that we can't do it, then other money will be spent something else.
I just wanted to make sure because it sounded like with the Facebook post that this was a done deal.
I never listened to people.
No, I don't either, but we'll probably get another letter from a judge saying, you know, you're gonna violate my ethics and say, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. So when that comes in,
I would have no problem, move it forward.
I spoke with Park Mobile today. We couldn't get coordinated for tonight. So June 12th, I'm gonna have a quick Zoom call when I get the link, if anybody is interested in joining at that. It is early and it's 10 o'clock in the morning on June 12th, but I'll send it out to the rest of the council and the mayor's office. When I spoke to them again,
Hold on a sec. On that, we'll have to notify the public and anyone on the public can also join in.
okay,
If there's a forum, so we'll have to send the Zoom link to the truck.
okay, once that comes out, yep.
Sorry.
Oh, and then they understood that this meeting would just be a preliminary, just kind of see about it. And then they're willing to come to a meeting either virtually or in person to discuss the parking situation.
It's simple, that's tough.
Yeah.
Maybe we can invite them on July 1st.
That's kind of what I was thinking,
Yeah.
just to give them time. I don't know if they have local reps or, because the person I'm talking to is in Atlanta, so.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, see if they're available June first, the 16, and then just
July first.
July 1st.
I can tell you now, I can't make the June 12th, it's 10 a.m. But if you could ask the question or get the gist of it, what is the enforcement? Like how, when someone doesn't pay the meter, is it our police department? Because they have, we have to deputize their parking enforcement meters.
It's our.
So then we have to have our police department doing additional duty of going out checking meter.
Well,
tags.
that's why we're having this discussion, to see if it's even feasible, something that can be done, something that can be monitored.
It was,
There's
a lot of members, there's a scanner, especially from the most, so we can check that against the database.
To see if they pay.
Yeah.
Right, they would drive through, but then someone actually has to physically write the ticket. So then. Canal Fest weekend, which is probably gonna be a busy weekend around here, we got everyone tied up, and we're going, hey, there's plenty of revenue to be made if someone goes and writes it. Now you have to pull someone to specifically pass them.
It's not just Canal Fest weekend, it's any weekend for down street office.
Well, the officers we tied, I'm just using Canal Fest as an example, busy weekend, officers are very tied up, a lot of volume calls. A lot of money to be made if someone writes, but now you have to divert someone from there to specifically task them with writing those tickets for. Unless we come up with some other method, because the charter does allow for. I believe, point parking police or however it was worded, meter. Yeah.
It could be a summer job, too, right?
Used to have meter maids downtown.
Well, it didn't even have to be that, somebody to help, help people out.
Yeah, we just said, we,
You know, if it's an app situation, you could have a guide down there, parking guides. But, looking at the condition of that parking lot down there, that's gonna be an expensive fix.
We talked to Dave about that last week.
So if we can generate some revenue to help
We already
take
passed
care of the
few.
parking lot.
The other thing that they're gonna see, I remember this when City of Buffalo tried to do this, because now City of Buffalo went to this Roam app and they do, full day parking, you gotta pay the $4 or $8, and you can't just buy an hour or two. Then what they had to do is they had to go in and designate other areas, no standings. So like in front of Mississippi Muds on Niagara Street, you would have to designate that shoulder lane, no standing. Because otherwise people are going, I'm not gonna pay the $1 an hour to park, I'll just go park up here, and then you have people double park waiting for the
Yes.
free spot.
And that's part of the other concern is that parking will back up
Yep.
toward like Adam.
Then that way, yeah. So they're
So,
gonna want free park.
yeah.
You know, the other thing to think about,
There's a
does it
lot of-
scare people away for a dollar? What I'm saying, do they go to ILD, do they go to Grab and say, screw you down? I'm not part of old people, look,
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm old, remember,
That's why we're discussing.
Yeah,
it.
but I'm just saying,
Next
Pardon?
thing,
So we have.
the other question is gonna be too is, when you pay to park, if you exit the vehicle, some people don't exit their vehicle, so technically they're standing. Some of them stand down there for 3 hours, they listen to the radio in their car and just watch the water. If they're not paying the meter or not obligated to pay it, we've now been deprived of a paid parking spot for someone who's legally parked for free.
And it wouldn't be something that the residents would have to worry about.
Right.
We wouldn't charge residents.
Or recommend a residential pass or something, sure, these are all ideas.
All discussion because
Discussion, yeah.
what all-
Yeah, so hopefully, if your informal meeting, yeah, we get them in person, we can. A lot of questions.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Mayor?
A couple of things is, we actually lost Pit Chicks, everybody knows Pit Chicks is gone. That's where we house our dogs, through our police department. I found out Monday, that they ran out of business, so. It's not a good thing because then we were not covered for one day. And, if, the Department of Ag ever came in, and we don't have a legal area. Anytime over 80, they gotta be, 85, they gotta have air conditioning, anything over, or under, they gotta have heating. Our garage is not suffice, ours is a one-day shelter to remove them to one. So I found one, through Dan Mulkey on, Grand Island called Island Pet Lodge. They get the same price, $400 a month, exact same thing. So I went with them and, signed with them because it's the exact same thing, exact same price, no increase. And they're good people, but so is Pit Chicks. I'm a little disappointed in Pit Chicks because I thought we had a better reputation and rapport with them. Just all of a sudden, one day or one, my first thing in the morning, now trying to find someone. We had a very nasty dog that was in our kennel, you could not get near. So I had to put summer with it. So we hooked up with them right away, and we now have our certificate of insurance over there. And we also have the contract over to them. So Pit Chicks is now gone, we're now going with Island Pet Care. That's what we're going through now. We have to have a place to take the dogs to. And invoice goes to the police department, and the police department says it's the clerk, and it's paid as we did with the other two. So just so everybody knows, that's the one. I thank Mark Easy and Conrad for showing up for the safety thing, all the extra helmets that were left, It was a beautiful night, for a makeup game in softball, baseball, hardball, or a soccer game or practice, so the kids, were gone. We had a mediocre turnout, but it was good because the educator was so well liked, by the adults that they wanted to do it now, bring our show to the, school assembly with the kids all in, so we can educate them. So that's what we're gonna do, but I'm not gonna give away many helmets there, so the extra helmets I'm gonna give back, to, Chief. He can store them somewhere here, leave them on my garage, thank you, Chief. And, we'll store them so you can use it for National Night Out. I think it's the best way to get rid of it. Now I know we're going to a kid that'll need it, because you'll be the person properly, help them fit it properly like you did. Both you, other two officers helped out, thank you for that, help fit the kids, with the helmet, so thank you. Appreciate that, and then, the Rotary Peace Bowl, anybody, hear about what a peace bowl is? Anybody see a peace bowl ever? They're kind of cool. Peace bowl is about 7 feet tall. It's octagon. It's got different languages, Chinese on one side, US, basically talking about peace, in the world, yada, yada. So the Rotary, I went through Rotary, and I was thinking of putting it on the overlook that we're building, over here off the, it's a perfect spot for it. That overlook, because this would be a bike stop. We were talking about putting a bench, remember, for Yellow Cypress at that, bench, at that point there. So you got that bench there, you got the overlook, you got the, we're building it, and that grants to prevent the erosion, so take advantage of the whole thing, so we're getting money to pay for it, yada, yada. So I think it's a nice spot to put that peace bowl, unless somebody's got a better spot, I think it's a great location to put the peace bowl. It's, you ever look it up, just look it up, solve the peace bowl. And, that was my idea, unless there's anything different, let me know. The Renaissance Bridge, I talked with, Chisel on that, it's owned by the, state, and we can't paint it, we can't power wash it, we can't touch it. Just like the bridge going over, for the, CSC or for the, railroad, we can't touch that railroad bridge either. We painted it once and almost got sued by it, so we know we can't touch that, right, Brittany? So we can't touch the other bridge either, so Jim, whenever they get to it, they know it's gotta get painted.
right?
The state, they know it's gotta get painted. We got the TFC contract today, which is a good thing, everybody for taking a look at that. That's a real good thing. I want to get that done, the contract, so they work knowing and feel comfortable that you got that field as long as we're in existence. Dennis Fry, so everybody understands, I don't want embarrassment from the council, we'll be in a meeting with my office with Chief Clance, myself and him. We talked about his concerns, we went back and forth, and what it comes down to is, I don't feel comfortable giving the meat if we did make it a bait and shoot up near 2 Mile Creek. First of all, we don't, the only land we owe on 2 Mile Creek is the dumps. It's the only land we own. The rest of it is owned by the benevolent. Okay, he would have to get permission from the benevolent and from us to do bait and shoot. So we talked about that. I don't feel comfortable giving a bait and shoot to well, I know 2 or 3 places, Mr. Price said, that'll take the meat. Okay, just think of it this way, you have the Manhattan Project to the south. You got on top of our city dumps. And west is the town of Dakota, which leads down to us. Do you feel comfortable giving any meat from a deer that ate off that land? Okay, who's liable when we send it to them? We are, because we did the bait and shoot. I got the DEC, they did a study up there a year ago, and so I called my friend, I said, look, if you get a copy of it, he said, I'll see what I can do, because that soil sample will show to us that it's not good soil. It can't be good soil. You got the Manhattan Project right over there, you got our dumps right there, with everything leaching there, and you've got town of Dakota, which leaks down there for 100 years. So I'm just saying, that was our fight. He understood it, but that's our answer. He feels that, let's see what the soil sample looks like. So once I get it, again, it's the state. Once I get it, I will sit down with him and Jason or Chief Claus will go through it.
So I had a meeting today with the DEC
So,
about the deer. And they said that they would take, they would take deer anywhere from anywhere, that there's no concern, but I understand what you're saying.
oh, I'm not successful. I have to give many, so I get a right, yes.
They did refer me to, and I have links that I'll send to you. Programs in North Tonawanda, Amherst, West Seneca. He said West Seneca is probably the best one to take a look at because of the way that they rolled it out to the public. They had public hearings and
They got
education.
the space to do it. We have no space. They got golf courses. Every town you said has golf. Course. We don't have a golf course.
That was also about education or remediation.
Yeah,
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, there was a big piece of, what what plants to plant, what to have in your yard, what not to have in your yard. But there was quite a bit of education to the public before you get to that solution.
Right.
And, they have great resources, I'll send them over to you.
Again, like Mr. Fry, I not planted any other species, I gave him the species to do, I teach it for the state of New York every year, I mean, for 30 years. And we educate the landscapers on how to prevent, there's a species that you put out there that prevent it, there's you can put spray in there, it doesn't, it's like putting mothballs for mice. 50% chance of something. But we, just to make sure, I'll do whatever we agree upon, but I'm not sending anything out to get that soil tested.
It's just another point of contact too, if you do eliminate them, you don't need a gun. I got a nephew who's a hell of a bow shooter, and crossbows, I mean, and they don't go as far, you know, so you're not taking that bullet that's gonna go a mile.
No, but you got a bow that's shooting at 500 PSI and it hits the branch and shoots, reflects and shoots.
If you
half
shoot
a
them
mile
down
away.
at 2 Mile Creek and bait them down there or down at Exelon Park. I don't know how many people are there besides the
Well,
photographic.
again, Exelon Park is not our property. We're just small, we're small, we don't own property. That's the difference. I will investigate. That's what I told Mr. Farber we're doing. So we'll see what, send it to me anyway. I want to see it. Absolutely.
I did, I sent you the contact, his email and his phone number, but I also have, he shared out written resources too. that can be- I'll send you the links.
Absolutely.
Can you forward him to everyone?
Construction, so everybody knows, last thing is, David Holmes has already reached out, believe it or not. And, there's pallets up there full of stuff right now, and I'm looking forward to hopefully him doing something. We also had the, Sutton is already starting. It's cutting on a weekly basis. Yes, he is, thank you. And, it's a good thing moving forward, because now that Sutton's moving, David Holmes is moving, 77 Young came in, signed his contract. He's ready to rock and roll, and he's gonna start any day now. And then, of course, we got the rest of the BRI, which will be exciting. In fact, Ben is gonna come on my the radio program with Austin, but Austin can't make it on the 11th. And he can explain the DRI procedure, what to expect, the community should expect as we move forward. And I think it's important, because everybody's throwing on Facebook completely wrong answers on things that people are misinformed. That'll help the situation. Spalding, I was gonna ask Brittany where we are with any of the Spaldings, with the contracts.
I think everything is forwarded to the closing council.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and that was done, I CC'd on that, so.
I just want to hear it right from you guys, because I want them to understand that there's no hold up on your end. So it's already been forwarded back to the other attorneys, waiting for it to come back to us to sign.
Correct.
So so you're looking at possibly David Holmes, Rivers, we will definitely be going. With 2 Spaldings, Simmers Creek, which is next to Simmers Creek across from Milton Cat, and 77 Young is starting AC. So there's a lot of construction that's going to be going on. That doesn't include the Tonawanda housing.
David Holmes just collected from like the water authority and just dumped stuff there with these pallets.
No,
I mean,
because.
the guy, I trust him like I don't trust.
So do I, because like they looking for permits, that's what I'm doing, because he's gonna pay for permits, he's only got a certain amount of time to use it. That's it. I'm happy, let's see what happens.
Anything
That's
else?
all I had. Rich Rouse.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session for personnel of particular people. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Malum, all those in favor, please.
Do you have the certificate?
Yes. Thank you.
Not on here, so I'll call you up. It's not on the agenda.
Yeah, just call me up.
Okay.
Turn it over to me.
Nice this.
Play nice one.
Hang on. Yep.
Five.
Like, Mr. Clerk, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's call the meeting of the City of Tonawanda Council to order at 7:27 PM. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley.
Here.
Fisher.
Here.
Roundstrow.
Here.
Mylum.
Here.
Cook.
Here, please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States.
To the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. All right, thank you. You may be seated. Communications from the mayor have been ordered and filed. Communications from city officials and correspondents have also been ordered and filed. Not on the agenda is Mayor White's beautification program. So I'd like to turn it over to the mayor for his presentation of the business.
Thank you,
Mayor.
Madam President. Couple of things, as we started this, actually the beautification a couple of years ago, when we looked at North Tonawanda and said, oh my God, look at the beautiful pots they have, whatever. So we sat down with our department at that time and we bought pots, and now we fill them. Now we have sponsors in the pots. And it's contagious is what it is. It's contagious because they want to make the city pretty. We want to make the city beautiful, and it's a win-win situation. So last year, at the end of the year, I thought I'd start a beautification program where we give each month, we thank a business for doing their part in the beautification process. And it's a team effort. It's not one business. It's not one city. Our Main Street, if our Main Street looks great, the rest of the city doesn't look that good. It's not a win-win. We were just awarded the $10 million DRI from the state, and we get more people coming into the city. You know what? I want it to look halfway decent. So I'm excited about this each week doing it because A, it sets up a rapport with the businesses. It tells them that we care about it. And you know, they'll go back and maybe say, you know what? I'm going to do something a little bit different this year because I'm happy that they recognize this. So anyways, this month is going to be Tim Weibel from 6 Main Street. With appreciation of your efforts to beautify the city of Tonawanda by creating and maintaining a clean, professional, commercial business property inside and out. If you ever walk inside, he's got original murals and paintings from the old bank right there. And it's still, and just like if you close your eyes and thought 30 years ago and opened them, he's got the same murals on the wall. He kept it all, maintained it all, and it looks beautiful. And for your cooperation in helping us keep the city safe. And you may say, what does that beautification have to do with safe? Nothing. But every time we do Canal Fest, we go up on his building. Every time we do a 4th of July, we're up on his building. And he's always working with us. He's working with Canal Fest. They've utilized his lot. His lot is immaculate. If you look out there in the morning, you'll see people out there picking up papers. To me, that's making us as a city look good. So this month, I'd like to thank Timothy Weibel. Come on up, Timothy.
I brought Bob too. He's the one that's doing a lot of the work around there too. He's the one that plants flowers, pulling weeds. Thank you.
I'll come down and do that.
Well, thank you very much. You're welcome.
Okay, before we take comments by the public on the resolutions, resolutions 8 and 9. Are amended. Resolution 8 is amended to read, whereas a special event application was received by the city clerk from the Carnegie Art Center for the Carnegie Arts Spree Festival. And so I'll make the motion to amend. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 9. I'll make a motion to amend to read, whereas a special event application was received by the city clerk from Western New York Scout Council, and Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Mylum. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, council is not going into executive session. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public on the resolutions.
Hi, I'm here representing the Tonawanda Football Clinic for 296 East Niagara Street. I'm on the board of directors and a resident of 92 William. We would like to have that contract tabled because there is verbiage in numbers in bullet point 6 that we would like to have redone. We would not be agreed to that. Please have that table to have the opportunity to have a good solid contract. with the city. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Any other comments on the resolutions? Okay, let's proceed.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to table.
I'll get you two in a minute.
Oh, you want to go to
Yep,
two?
yep.
Okay.
We gotta start with one first.
Madam President, we make a motion to forego the reading minutes from, or the resolutions, I always say minutes. The resolutions, 1, 2,
Well, there might not be a
3,
two.
9.
There won't be a two. But, okay, so waive the readings of resolution 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 table 2, 7, 8, 9. Just do 1 through 9, it's easier. All right, Mr. Clerk, I have a motion on the floor to waive readings of resolution 1 through 9. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Sheasley. Mr. Clerk, call the roll.
Peasley.
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Rounstraw.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the waiving of the readings 1 through 9. Please proceed, Mr. Clerk.
Yes, ma'am. Resolution 1, sponsored by Councilmember Sheasley.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Mylum. Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Peasley.
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted. Mr. Fisher.
I would like to make a motion to table resolution number 2.
Motion on the floor to table resolution 2, seconded by Mr. Rautenstrau. Mr. Clerk, call the roll.
Peasley.
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum. Cook.
I declare the resolution tabled.
Resolution number 3, sponsored by Councilmember Fisher.
I'll second. Comments or questions?
Comment.
Mr. Fisher.
I think it's nice to see something coming to the city of Tonawanda. And this project runs directly down the second ward. It does share some of the first ward with Jim when it comes out of the town. But for the most part, it's going right down the middle of the second ward. That is all.
Any other comments? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Peasley.
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 4, sponsored by the council.
Seconded by the council. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Peasley.
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 5, sponsored by the council.
Seconded by the council. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Sheasley.
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye. Declare the resolution adopted. Resolution number 6, I'll make a motion to table. Seconded by Mr. Mylum. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Peasley.
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution tabled.
Resolution number 7, sponsored by Councilmember Rounstrau.
Seconded by Mr. Fisher. Comments or questions?
Just a quick comment.
Mr. Rounstrau?
I just wanted to say, this is a great event. It was fun last year. It was great to see that there was no issues. It was very well attended. It's just good to see this continuing again this year. It makes Porch Fest a little more special every year, and it's been a great time. Thank you.
Any other comments? Please call the roll.
Peasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Rounstrau,
Aye.
Mylum. Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 8, sponsored by Council President Cook.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Sheasley. Comments, questions? Please call the roll.
Peasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Rounstrau,
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 9. Sponsored by
I'll take it.
Councilmember Cook.
Okay.
Madam President Cook.
Do I have a second?
I'll second, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Rounstrau. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Peasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Rounstrau,
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public following the resolutions.
Blake Boyle, 245 William Street, City of Tonawanda. I want to thank the mayor, the police chief, the fire department, and Officer Stephen Worthling for a very nice presentation on the safety with electric scooters. I also want to thank the traffic board for warning about certain areas in the 1st ward, the 2nd ward, and the 4th ward at Cranbrook, Young Street, and also Niagara Street. The 3rd ward has the bike path. If the council was there, they would have heard the concerns. But again, politics plays favoritism over what's best for the city of Tonawanda. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Royal. Any other comments?
You are out of your mind.
Mr. Mylum?
So Simon, 6 Plymouth, yes, I'm talking about Spalding property again. Thank you very much for whoever City of Tonawanda did a great job cutting the grass. My question is, who do we have under contract to market or sell that property? Because the 2 signs that are the triangular signs that were up for too long are both destroyed. They're both laying on their side. Your DPW goes over there or whoever goes over and cuts the grass around them, so the grass is all growing up. The signs look terrible. Are we still under contract with that company?
Yes, we are. It's called Pyramid.
I understand it is, because I can go like this and read the sign. Signs are destroyed. Are they not responsible to put up new signs? Are we not marketing that property anymore?
So as the council is aware, questions are directed to the council president and the council president can filter them out. So Mayor, will you?
Yes, it is through Pyramid, and Pyramid is still representing us. We're in, as Brittany said at 6 o'clock, all the contracts are in the hands of the other the people who are buying them. So all they've got to do is send them back to us, and they'll be sold, and our responsibility will be gone. And so will Pyramids, correct? So until that time, it is still city property. So we are still responsible to do it, unfortunately. So we are still including those hills that were made really difficult because you got to do them with a weed whacker, unfortunately. So it's created a problem for us. But we mow it the best we can. And yes, Pyramid, we can contact them and have them put up new signs if they are going to still be represented, which we pay them. So we pay them 10%, everything that they sell. So
Oh, so they put up new signs, let's sure it wasn't laying there.
I will have them put up some better signs, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Simon. Any other comments?
things with them. I have her stuff filed. The first, is there any way, I'm not gonna ask, I would suggest that we remove the informal session, office room here, and a whole host of people out in the hallway, chit chatting and jabbering and catching up with each other, and then we have to have mayor of the city come out and tell us to be quiet like children because we can't hear what's going on. We can't hear. Plain and simple. So while it may be cute and cozy to have the informal in that room, it's not beneficial. It's a public meeting. The public should be able to access the public meeting. The other thing, the e-bikes with the helmets, I'm grateful that something is trying to be done about it, but something's not being done fast enough. There were 2 today that no stop signs, no helmets, and these are grown people. So children are one thing, but it's the grown-ups that are the problem. They're speeding through the streets, they're not obeying city traffic laws, and they're going to get killed. Plain and simple. And the third thing is, I would implore the council not to do anything to the favored deer component of this city that almost every other resident who doesn't care about their pastas, loves these deer. People travel to Betts Park just to see the deer. And to assume that you're going to be able to purge these deer and donate the meat, we're on the Manhattan Project. Those deer are more toxic than our water, and our water is pretty bad. So I implore you, let the guy have his hostas, and if we all have to come up with a GoFundMe to put fencing around it, I'm fine with that. Leave the deer alone. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Mr. Clerk, anyone joining us virtually wish to address the council?
No, Madam President.
Okay, Mr. Sheasley.
Just a couple things. The bike night brought in, 76 bikes. You can see it's gonna grow, but hopefully we're just gonna growing pains, but you know, how far it goes and how good it goes. I believe it's great the other night. Second things, as everybody knows, and I've gotten complaints from my ward about potholes and everything else. Whole Western New York, except with Scanlon Mayor, where you bring them down here, you can do another 2,000 potholes. But I mean, the weather was tough on our roads. It really was. And just a suggestion, maybe we get Pyramid sign over on the other side, and I complain about all the time, that lot where the old water tower was, to sell that lot. You know, Billy, you and I will go over, we'll put that sign up on the other side of the road too. That's all I got, young lady.
Thank you, Mr. Sheasley. Mr. Fisher.
For the Chris Fisher Gives Back this week, it went to a resident on Grove Street who was in the ride for Roswell. They asked for the donation, so I gave it to them. Over the weekend on June 1st, we had the Bob Gregg Grove dedication. So now if anybody goes by Bob Gregg Grove, it is properly marked on the barrel with a nice lime green spray paint color. Mr. Boyle came up here. He's running against me. So when he talks about everything's political, he's not wrong. Everything's political. But we did have a nice Memorial Day event on the bridge. Mayor Austin Tylik did come. We did have a mayor show up. So I'd like to address that. Thank you, Mayor Austin Tylik, for coming to represent the 2 cities. Thank you to TFC for being here. We have issues, you know, they're going to get that hashed out, but thank you for coming. And I'd like to say thank you to Kathy Hochul, our governor, for supporting the Tonawandis with the DRI, bringing the money into the city. And that's all.
Mr. Rounstrau.
Nothing to report this week. Thank you.
Mr. Milam.
I don't have to explain to that guy who was here, or whatever his name is, where I was on Monday night or whatever night it was. But for him to come in here and say that that was political is completely out of line. I support the mayor and what he was doing. It's a much needed event. I'm sorry I couldn't make it. I don't feel I have to apologize to anybody, especially that guy. But I just want people to know this was not an intention to skip. I do have an issue with something that occurred at our last meeting. When Mr. Fry came up to talk about the deer, he was completely cut off at 3 minutes because it was a controversial topic and it was making people look bad. So our council president, probably second or third time in my 8 years up here, cut off the speaker at 3 minutes. The very next speaker came up It was a nice, peaceful issue that we all agreed on, and they spoke for over 4.5 minutes. I found that unconscionable, especially because knowing the gentleman, he has been here for years asking for help. And when he was finally getting it, he was cut off. Disgusting behavior. That's political. That's all I have to say.
Mayor?
City better wake up.
Thank you, Madam President. I too had an excuse from the bridge one, so thank you, Mr. Fisher, for noticing that I wasn't there, but I actually notified and sat down with the VVA and told them where I was. I had a family event and my family comes first.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
With everybody here, so thank you.
Second. We call a
Thank you,
vote.
Mr. Mayor.
Not done yet.
I'd like to remind everybody that Warriors Walk is tomorrow at 6.
A motion to adjourn. I have a second on the floor. Can we have a vote, please?
And, sandfly season's here. That's all I have to say. Motion to adjourn by Mr. Fisher, seconded by Mr. Seasley. Mr. Clerk, call the roll. Mr. Clerk, call the roll. I don't know. Mr. Clerk, call the roll to adjourn. Sharon, can you please go get the clerk to?
She's already gone.
Oh, sorry about that. I was on mute. Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher, Roundstrow,
Aye.
Mylum, Cook.
Aye. Have a good night.
Oh, yes.
Get away with it.
Oh, I don't care. Let the clerk calls the vote. Oh. No, it's all good. Thank you.
Just make some good progress.
Okay.
Yeah.